It's a perfect 10. It's a record-breaking season. Whatever happens from now to May, Bradford City have won 10 consecutive home league games for the first time in its club history. Those 11 players that played last night will go down in the record books. What an astonishing achievement from those players. We've seen time after time this season 11 players who are committed to the cause, but no, I'm wrong. We've seen the whole squad. Yes, some of the players that went in January, when you look back and we had those players and you think, my word, they were actually at this football club. But the players that are here now, the players that have gone in January, and the players that were brought in, they've played their part. I'm looking at Neil Byrne. I know we've had our moments this season, but players like Neil Byrne, players like George Lapsley, players like Jamie Walker, even Odrow came on, Jay Ben who's on the bench, those sorts of players, Paul Huntington. The players who aren't playing week in, week out, who come into the team and there's no drop off whatsoever, and put in 110% in the character that this team shows, the team that it shows, the depth. It's incredible, the depth that we have. The depth we had last season, well, we plummeted. 1 or 2 injuries, we were finished. This season, 1 or 2 injuries, another 2 players come in, and they get injured, another 2 players come in. Sarcevic, Patterson are out. I don't know how it went Lancashire. They're out. They're out for the rest of the for the month. What a crisis that would be if you haven't got players who are willing to put the dedication in that those have. George Lapsley last night was absolutely fantastic. Not just the 2 goals. He was man of match beyond that because of his whole play. That lad has not played senior football in a long time from Gillingham. He was in and out of the Gillingham team. He was frozen out. The way they treated him, you must think what was going on. He has not been able to get a kick for Bradford City. He's come on, played 5-minute cameos, but we've had a crisis and he's had to be called upon. He has dedicated himself like a true profession, got on with it, trained to his maximum, got himself ready, so when he's called upon, he can come into his team, make no difference and improve us. We didn't have Bobby Point and Sarcevic Patterson in that game. No Andy Cook as well. We haven't had him for what seems like years already. And there was no drop off whatsoever. In fact, there seemed to be a bit of an improvement because we looked a bit more. We just looked more sharper. It's testament to those players, and I've said it for the last 3, 4, 5, 6 games. It's testament to them because they could be sulking, and time after time we've seen players in this football club who aren't getting the games that they've wanted. They aren't playing week in, week out, and they're coming to a team, big drop off, not up to the level, not up to standards, and that's why you finish mid-table. One player don't get you over the line in promotion. A few players don't get you over the line. A team don't get you over the line. It's got to be the whole squad. Alexander's talked about it all season. The players who have been injured, the way they are around the dressing room, the players who aren't getting games, the way they are in the dressing room, and the fact that then they're coming to a team. Yes, they're great in the dressing room, but what they're like on the pitch, and there's no drop off, and that is why we're up there. That's why we're title contenders in March. It's not where you are in August, not where you are in December. Although, a few people are calling for Alexander's heads. They look foolish now. I was never at that point, and I never will be. He's proved them all wrong consistently. And there's a big problem with football at the minute, with managers getting called out for sackings and fans wanting managers sacked. There's a huge problem in football. There's no long-term project. There's no stability. But can I just say, the style of football's absolutely fantastic. The one-touch play, yeah, there's a danger with one-touch play that it is going to look a bit aimless at times. But there's a partner play. Cheltenham were shocking. They were one of the worst teams, if not, yeah, they were the worst team that have come to Valley Parade this season. There's been a few, Swindon were poor. Harrogate, I feel like that they were also poor. Accrington and Morecambe. Those teams were absolutely shocking when they came, but Cheltenham were worse because what they had a bit of grit about them. They had a bit of something about them. Cheltenham did not want to defend. They looked like a team that it were a chore to defend. Every long ball that went up in the air, they didn't want to win it. We wanted it more than them. And 20 minutes in, I thought this is a 2-3-0, and that's not often you say that as a Bradford City fan this season. But you could just tell that they didn't want it. We wanted it. The amount of one-touch hoofs that went up into the air, and we'd win the second ball because they want enough into the first header. Well, we won the first contact a lot. Lapsley was fantastic in the air. Mellon held the ball up so well. Jamie Walker linked up with us too so well that they play look like they've played with each other for years. The first game they played together. Um, the one-touch play with Keller, Walker, Lapsley were fantastic. The movement, we exploited their gaps in the midfield and in behind their defence, and we made it look so easy and comfortable. But let's not just talk about the attackers, because they were superb. They didn't put a foot wrong. Lapsley, Mellon, Walker, Keller, they all put absolutely everything into that. They found the gaps, they exploited them, the creativity, the link up, the hold up play, the finishing. We were clinical. Great. Get your plaudits. They deserve it. They were fantastic, and they all took the chance. Because again, it's one thing being a good character. It's one thing coming on and making an impact, right, and changing a game. But it's one thing grabbing your opportunity with both hands and then kicking them in the balls. And that's what Lapsley did, and that's what Jamie Walker's doing. And it's so hard for Alexander to pick a team. If Patterson and Sarcevic were fully fit, and Poynton, who's got a bit of an issue by sounds of it as well, how hard of a selection would that be? But they're taking the chances, and they're taking it with both hands, which it's just an unbelievable character trait. But like I say, they get the plaudits, they deserve it. But that defence is something else. We've spoke about it for the last couple of months, but it's just ridiculous how you can get two changes in a back line and there's no drop off. You can't notice the difference. Neil Burns come up with a bit of criticism, but I think it's just because he's average. Jack Shepherd is outstandingly good for this level. He's easily a championship centre back. He makes it look so easy. Compare Jack Shepherd to a Cheltenham centre back and you see the difference. He wanted it. You can see him, how intense he is when he gets close to players, how he relishes a 1v1 challenge, how he relishes grabbing hold of a player. And same for Neil Burnham, same for Aidan Baldwin, same for Huntington, same for Kieran Kelly. Our centre backs all want to be in with a challenge. And that's the difference. That's why we're keeping clean sheets. We want to defend and we love doing it. And that's what our true Bradford City team is. We have defenders who love to defend. We have flair at the top end who love to get on the ball and create and have a bit of flair and skill and aren't afraid to take a shot off. And we've got clinical strikers who can take the chance when it comes. And yeah, I think that's what every ideal team wants. But can you run that extra mile? Can you put 110% in? Can you give a big cheer to the fans? Can you get them behind you? And that's what this team has. It's something different, and it's something special that they've created amongst themselves and amongst the fans. And we don't have teams like this. But like I say, it's the depth of the squad, and it's the character of the depth as well. And for that, you have to give credit to the recruitment team, and you've got to include Ryan Sparks in that. And I've been his biggest critic. I'd probably say I've been one of the big ones. David Sharp as well, because of Ryan Sparks picking him up and bringing him into a building, and he's been unbelievable. And we've got to get him a seatbelt with grenades attached to it. So if he leaves his chair, he gets bombed at the site, because he cannot be afforded to leave this football club like he did Mansfield and like he did Wigan. He's got to stay here until death do we part with him, because he's made such a significant impact. And Graham Alexander as well. Never ever sack that man, and I will never call for him to be sacked. I don't care what it is, because he's brought something to this football club that I've never seen. Are we in a title race? We are, but we're 8 points away from fourth. Let's not get carried away. Let's not get carried away here. We're still in with a chance of getting out of this division. Don't matter how you get out of it, it's you get out of it. And we've got a great chance now. We've got 11 more cup finals. I think 6 wins do it. 25 wins across the season. If that don't get you promoted, God knows how. And that would put us on over 80 points. There's games in our next run that we need to win, but get it almost signed sealed. But we can't drop the ball. And I don't think these players will, because at the end of the day, this is what happens when you have good depth. This is what happens when you build a good dressing room. This is what happens when you rotate, and this is what Alexander's been great at, and he has to get all the plaudits for doing so, rotating. I know there's been injuries, there's been knocks, but he's also limited exposure to players when they've come back from injury as well. He's brought these players in from the cold, but obviously the training's intense, so he's kept them energised. And he's had to rotate, and what it does is it brings a great competitive edge to your team, and that means Lapsley now, he scored 2 goals, he's been great, but Bobby Poynton's coming back. Sarcevic isn't long until he's back, and he's got 2 or 3 players also behind him, and they will come straight back into his team. Tommy Lee Tommy Lee is a great little player. Signed him for a fee. Highly rated, so he's ready to come in and take his chance. You can't drop the ball in this team, and that's what rotation and a competitive team brings. It's fantastic. But yeah, Jack Shepherd, no one gets past the man. He's a brick wall. He's an absolute unit, and he's one of the best centre backs I've ever seen at this football club. And I think a lot of fans would say that who have seen a lot more centre backs and a lot more football than I have at Bradford City. He makes it look so comfortable. He defends with ease, and I'd love to get him back next season. But I think Barnsley'd love to keep him next season. I think he's that good. He's absolutely superb. And Baldwin's gone up a level. Neil Byrne came in. No drop off. Like I was hinting at earlier, I think he gets a lot of criticism because he's average. And what I mean by that is you've got Huntington, former Championship centre back. You've got Shepherd, who is definitely heading along that way in 2 seasons' time. You've got Baldwin, who can play a fantastic diagonal ball, and he plays a sexy football. The Brazilian type long passes. Whereas Neil Burns is a classic League 2 centre-back who will kick someone, he'll kick it into a stands, he keeps it simple, and he does his job. He might make 1 or 2 mistakes across the season, but he does his job when he comes in, and I think that's all you need. And to be a good character as well, he's a leader on the pitch, and that's what I think he brings to the team, and that's what he came on and did, and that's what he did to get us over the line. There wasn't a single player who dropped below a 7 in that game. Everyone were an 8, and that's how you win a football game, and that's what you do when you're 3-0. And Alex Ferguson said, attack wins your games, defence wins your titles, and that's what our defence is doing at the minute. Not going to say titles, because in the context of the Premier League, title is the promotion. You don't win anything for second. You win promotion for third in League 2, and that's where we're heading. We've got to keep it up. Like I say, 11 cup finals, we can't up the ball, and I don't think we will. This team has got something, and I can't wait for the next game, and the next game after that, and the game after that. Every game means something, and I must say, going into that game, yes, I said, oh yeah, we should win, but I was quite nervous. I thought this has got one win all over it. We're going to win 3-0. The first 20 minutes you could tell it we're going that way, but I think Gillingham's got challenges, Colchester have challenges, Tranmere, new manager bounce. That every game could be a potential banana skin, and we're going to lose a game at some point from now to end of the season. That will happen. Let's not overreact. Let's keep getting behind them. Accrington's sold out. I think we're taking 2,500, 3,000 to Accrington. Unbelievable. We're taking over Accrington. Outstanding. Let's keep doing that. Let's keep backing them, and let's go do this. Let's win this title, because it's there to be won. But let's get over the line first, and that's what we're definitely on track to doing. This team's special. These players are special. This manager's special. This football club's always been special. Let's get a special promotion on the 40th anniversary of the fire, and let's not forget as well that Georgia is doing the ribbons as well. Get donating to that. Get that fund going up for the Burns unit on the 40th anniversary. And let's win this title on the 40th anniversary in the same division. The only league title we've ever won was in League 2 40 years ago when the tragedy happened. What a great mark of honour that would be for these players to do the same. Let's do this. Like the video if you did. Subscribe if you're new. We're on the road to 1,900 though. It is free if you do forget, and a lot of you haven't subscribed do watch my videos. I can see you. So just press the button. It's massively appreciated. Let me know your thoughts on the game last night and the promotion running. We are in a promotion race. Are we in a title race? Are we getting carried away? Who caught your eye last night? And let me know what you think about these characters, because there's a lot of them. Have a good one.